joined in studio by Mr. Buzz Ramsey from Yakima Bait and Bill Monroe Jr. of Yakima Bait as well. I wasn't passing over you at all. I'm kidding. We talked briefly about springers. We're going to get there again. But it's another buy 3, get 1 free deal at Fisherman's Marine. Again, I have said this since the beginning when you guys came up with this concept. It's buy 9, get 3 free, okay? And it is on the flatfish, salmon size.
Salmon size, M2 and larger.
M2 and larger.
Correct.
Also the fish flash, which you have to have. We were just talking mid-break here, during the break, I should say, about how cold the water temperatures are, right? When do, different style of flasher come into play? And we're a long ways away from that. It's a fish flash show, no question, with herring. And, by the way, prawns.
Maybe some prawns.
Work pretty good, too, but I won't get into that too much. Then, of course, a free sliding spreader that I fell in love with last year. I really did.
Yeah.
I was running them fixed when we were doing the 360 thing.
Yeah, right. Prevent line twist.
To prevent the line twist, but with the 360, or excuse me, with the inlines, the fish flash, just running them on a slider, it works great. It's actually just a simple way to keep your stuff clear. Then, of course, Maglip, and then the Hildebrandt spinner.
And Maglip is just the 4.0 size,
just the, which is
the spring Chinook size.
It's the perfect spring Chinook size.
Yeah.
Now, we're not going to have a lot of trouble with steelhead in the Willamette like we used to, unfortunately, but this plug would be the perfect size for the combo. That's why it's the perfect spring Chinook size. And most of our springers, unfortunately, these days are a lot smaller than, say, maybe what they were.
For anglers that haven't tried the 4.0, it does have a little, it's still got the skip beat action, dives deep, but it's got a wider wiggle than the other Maglip. So it's
really?
It's a little wider wiggle than the other.
I have one that I wanted to do a comparison with so that they could see a 3.5 and then, of course, the 4.0. So it is a little bit bigger. It's not significantly bigger.
And then to a 5.
Yeah, I believe that's a 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah. So you've got the 3 different sizes there, but on the sale, it is only the 4.0s.
Right.
If you haven't stocked up on those, you need to. It's really, well, that's actually what's oddly enough become really for myself, the most popular time that I am fishing plugs is for springers. Now, I know I overlook it too much for winter steelhead. This has been a year where it's been low, clear water conditions. I haven't even had my boat out on the river for weeks because it's been so darn low.
Yeah.
But for springers, plugs, especially on the Willamette in the midst of a really good egg bite that I can't get in on, I am a plug guy. It's the only thing that will save me in a lot of those times. And you know what it's like up there, Bill? Do you know what it's like up there when it's an egg bite and you can't get on it? You know what that's like? Maglips will save you. I was insider.
So frustrating.
It is. It's really the most frustrating fishing egg fishery that I've ever experienced. But you also have the Hildebrandt. Now, the 3.5s have become extremely popular. I would have to, I'm taking a guess here, but are the 3.5 size blade the most popular blade size that you're selling currently?
Oh, absolutely.
And that's because of the new fad that's out there. And it's not really a fad, but they're just deadly on all species of salmon that we get to chase. Springers, summers, and, of course, fall Chinook. But that's a great way that you can stock up on spinners that you can use throughout the entire year.
And we do offer this Hildebrandt spinner both in just a rigid hook model and a squid model. And the squid model has been far more popular than we thought it would be.
Really? Why?
I don't know. Just something about that squid dancing back there.
It hides the hook pretty dang good, and it actually does a pretty good job. I mean, you've got a good little piece of rubber down there hiding it, but that squid does, I don't know. It's just a little bit more productive for me.
Yeah.
Well, I know last year you were doing very well, the 360 thing, and of course the Hildebrandt.
We took this to Tillamook.
Oh,
and
let's not get there.
It exploded.
Yeah, don't talk about that right now.
Bad. It was bad.
By the way, the locals last year during October were not happy watching themselves get whipped by dudes with skateboards.
Yeah.
And that's really kind of what happened. But no, so this is really the perfect opportunity to stock up, and I can promise you right now, I was just at Fisherman's. They're loaded. They have all this stuff in stock. You need to get your favorite colors. Bill, you have kind of come up with your own patterns called the Bill Monroe Killer.
Yep.
BMK.
BMK.
Flasher.
If you have not been a red flasher guy, there really is something behind it. When there's a professional out there that has 6 dudes going, and all 6 of them are the same flasher, and that's one of the questions I wanted to ask you. And I may have asked you this before in the past, but I don't recall. memory is not as good as it used to be, right? It happens.
It's going to get worse.
Figures. Do you find an advantage with all the same flashers, no matter what the color is?
Oh, yeah.
But when they start going on a color, I know that you swap out all your rods.
That's correct.
Can you tell them why you feel that way and what it is that you think is the advantage to having all the same flasher?
So for me, when I came up with this, it took me about a year. I was just like, I'm just messing around. But then I just started taping red on a red plastic, and I caught a lot of fish on it, just on my pole. You know, that's just how I started.
Sure. Yeah. Just experimenting.
Experimenting. So the next year, we go into buoy 10. You think you have a different fish, a different color, right?
Right.
Didn't happen. This went again. So I put it on every rod. And if they're attracted to one of them, then they started coming at it from every position in the boat. And I put it on every position in the boat. And it was just, it was consistently done way quicker than I had ever been done before. And we're not trying to measure success on how quick you're done.
Sure.
But we were having tremendous results with red.
If you notice a difference and you're out there enough, you've got boatfuls of clients. I know Buzz, Mr. Ramsey has never been a guide, but you always have a full boat.
Yeah.
Do you find that kind of works the same way for you?
I'm buying into the same concept. It may not always be this color.
Sure.
Sometimes it is, but I'm carrying sets of my favorite colors, and if we switch them all.
Gotcha.
Correct.
And some of it is now it's a theory.
Sure.
Is that if the salmon saw a group of bait fish, for example, they would all kind of be the same color.
Yeah. Right.
And so if they're all different, well, that doesn't look very natural.
Sure. I get that. Yeah,
and
definitely.
so the idea is maybe, because they're turning it once every second, so they're really sending out those horizontal flashes of light. And if they're all the same and it's the color they want,
and they're comfortable with
why wouldn't they come?
Right.
There you go.
So that's the deal.
It gets them into your spread, more opportunity to at least more eyeballs closer to your gear. And again, like Buzz said, maybe not that color every time, but it is a good idea to have at least 3 or 4 of one color, because if you do find that and you want to get your percentages up, go from 1 or 2 bites to 3 or 4 bites for a normal person like myself, that is worth making that change, right? To get a couple extra bites is well worth it.
Sure, and you may like when the water's dirty, hey, I go to a chartreuse flasher.
Sure. Sun's
bright, I put some silver ones on, you know. So I've got some things I do based on conditions, water clarity, light. But like I say, just like Bill, I carry sets.
Yeah.
Bill's only set some days is this one. But
well, there's no question. Whenever I see Bill, a lot of times during the spring chinook season, when he's got a fish on, all his rods come up, and they all have the same flasher on there. Yeah. Do you like different sizes? There's a 10-inch that my favorite one is the large fish flash. It's been that way way back. The large fish flash in chartreuse is the one that I've always had my confidence in, and that's what helps catch fish is confidence. Do you ever spend time with the large size, or do you just strictly stay with 8s or what?
10-inch. For me, 10-inch goes on the back 3 rods. No question.
Okay.
I don't know why I've done that, but that's how I've done it. My front bow rods or my middle rods are going to have a combination, but they're most likely going to be 8-inch.
I got you. And the bigger ones towards the back.
On the back.
Yeah. Huh. And that is my favorite flasher. Yeah. And
I
don't have to use more weight either.
No, because it's drag-free.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's just a great. Yeah. I don't know. I like the bigger color.
Now I'm going to ask you a dumb one, because everybody has a different answer, and you know me, I ask a lot of dumb questions. That's why he's scratching his head right now. We won't talk about some other things. Double flasher. Now, I am a huge fan of it. I have caught a lot of fish that way. It saved my days on muddy, off-color condition days. As a professional, you're out there with clients. I kind of can get an angle where you might not do that because it could be a bit of a mess. But have you ever messed around with double fish flash?
I have. You're right. For me, it turns into kind of a mess.
Okay.
A really big mess.
Gotcha.
And if it's windy, which usually is, right?
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Okay.
But I've seen results from the guys who are out there putting 2 of these things out there, really exploding what they have down in the water.
Oh, yeah.
You know, last year we had Dave Calhoun with us one day, and we were anchor fishing, and I hadn't switched all the rods over to whatever we were. We caught one on I think we got hooked a couple, or got one on a mag lip, but the one gal with me, Shirley my friend from Idaho, she put down her trolling rig, which was a double fish flash with a herring.
Okay.
And she got one while we were sitting on anchor we were filming the deal with Dave.
Okay. Oh, okay. Now I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
All right, that was a double fish flash.
Double fish flash.
Now, I will say this. In the last 4 or 5 years, fishing on anchor with the fish flash, oddly enough, the skateboards as well, has become very popular and very effective in the right scenario and the right current flow. You have to have the right flow in order to make these things work correctly.
Got to be pretty moving. Got to be moving.
Yes.
It did work with high water. I don't see that this year. I just
no. Maybe that's where we'll kind of maybe talk a little bit about what we can expect that's going to be coming up this year based on what we have now. This is a significantly different year when you're talking about river levels. And a lot of people would say for the better. Some might say for the worse. But I think it's going to be a pretty interesting year as far as the conditions go. Let's just hope that they all fall into place at the right time prior to April 7th, at least on the Columbia, and that the Willamette stays cool enough, long enough, that we can put another pretty good year together. Last year was pretty good.
Yeah, it got good.
We'll say it was pretty good. It got really good at the end.
Yeah, it did.
Anyway, don't go anywhere. Stick with us here on NBC Sports Northwest. We'll be back with Buzz Ramsey and Bill Monroe Jr. in just a couple minutes.